What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Doc Comics. Today, we're going to take our first look at Absolute Superman #1. Now, if you have not already watched our Absolute Wonder Woman video, you should check that out afterwards. I'll leave a link in the description for that. But for now, let's dive into Absolute Superman. The issue opens with a flashback to a Krypton of the past, 9 million light years from Earth, and our narrator takes us on a brief tour. The planet Krypton was ruled by its cities, sprawling centers of advanced science and ancient law, with its lab-grown gardens, lava-powered energy plants, and its power capacitors the size of skyscrapers, made entirely of sunstone crystal. In the cities worked the clerics of the Science League, harnessing the energies of the Red Sun and the planet itself to fuel their insatiable hunger for progress at all costs. They were the Kryptonian ruling class, the most venerated minds on the planet, and my parents were not among them. So now we jump to a more rural setting in desperate need of rain. There, on a small farm, we find an older man with a gray beard and the S on his chest, which we all know is the House of L crest. He is complaining to his mechanic, Laura L., who also has the S on her chest, about the rain being late and about how the clerics charged him extra for rain this last month. She offers to build him his own cloud seeder, but he reminds her that she would go to prison for illegal sciencing. He then thanks her for repairing his harvester, and Jor gets brought up. Laura tells him that Jor is going under today, and that he has been under over 3,000 times, but for some reason today gives her an uneasy feeling. Their conversation is interrupted by the rain finally arriving. The old man invites her inside where it's dry, but she declines, wanting to make the most of the rain. As she stands there letting the downpour wash over her, we get another brief monologue from the narrator. In school, my mother was an exemplary student, destined for great things, everyone said, until she wrote an essay criticizing Krypton's lack of funding for interstellar exploration. For this, she was labeled unruly and forbidden from applying to the Science Academy. She was only 9 years old at the time and dreamed of being an astronaut. The class structure on Krypton defined all aspects of life. At its pinnacle reigned the Science League, and on the bottommost rung of the ladder toiled the Labor Guild. Class restrictions were of such importance that citizens had to wear their status at all times. The crest of the laborer was seen as a mark of shame, a sign of the poor and unskilled, but people like my parents wore it with pride. We were the children of the sun, they said, those who made their way with their own two hands. We were the people of steel. Okay, so in this universe, what we know as the House of L crest is actually the crest for the Labor Guild, which is the lowest class of people. In the next panel, we get a closer look at what he meant by people of steel. This scene opens with a group of laborers decked out in their safety suits with headlamps and a drone. They look to be in a cave or down in a mine examining some machinery, but they are finding no noticeable dangers with the surroundings or the equipment. The other members of the team are ready to call it clear, but the lead engineer, who happens to be Jor-El, isn't satisfied with the search. Jor-El tries to listen to what Krypton is telling him, but they are interrupted by a man in a similar suit but with an unfamiliar crest. He demands to know why his workers are standing around topside. Jor-El informs him that the mine has been shut down due to the mine's instability. The man then demands that they reopen the mine, but Jor-El refuses, continuing his search. Suddenly, everything around them begins to rumble, and the ground beneath them begins to crack. Jor-El instructs his team to run, but for some, it was too late. So basically, his father gave a speech condemning their environmental recklessness, and was laughed out of his position in the league, but ended up being right. Now, we jump to present-day Brazil, where we see a group of miners waiting at the entrance to the mine. When the workers reach the bottom of the mine, they find the diamonds are already processed and the air is clear of asbestos. No one knows who did this or how they accomplished it, and they agree not to tell anyone so they can take the diamonds topside, rolling right past the peacemakers to collect their money for doing the job, still unsure who could have done it. This time, we get a flashback within a flashback to the previous night, where we get a brief interaction between one of the miners and a stranger in a hoodie. We get a close-up look at his face as they talk, and then a view through his x-ray vision. Now the miner invites the stranger to join the workers for a barbecue and drinks, but the stranger declines the offer, saying he has more work to do, then vanishes. Back in the present, the very same miner is being beaten by a peacemaker, demanding to know who is responsible for the diamonds already being processed. The worker refuses to give him any information, but he doesn't have to. The data shows that all workers checked in except for one, and they have his location. And then we get a quick glimpse of the worker before the narrator breaks back into another monologue. I should have been gone. On to the next mine, the next corporate pig farm or sweatshop factory. Years of running all across this planet. From the jungle to the waters to whatever you call those places that are nothing but sand, and it's always the same. Always misery, always Lazarus. Except this time, I've left myself weak and sun-starved. Dreaming of a time long ago when I still knew who I was. Maybe it's best I hadn't left already, because after years of watching these people treat the poorest and lowest among them as little more than cattle, I'd gotten tired of running. Before the peacemakers can get a jump on Cal, he bursts through the door, knocking the closest of them backwards. The others open fire, but the rounds are ineffective. Also, our narrator and timeline have finally converged, so we pick up a new unseen voice, but this one seems to be speaking to Cal directly, which it is because it's his suit communicating with him. The suit warns Cal to get out, that it's not safe, but he refuses to leave until the workers are no longer in danger. The suit continues to protest, but Cal ignores the warnings, getting all the workers to safety. However, before he can get himself away from the situation, he is blasted by Reaper drones, but the drones are called off because Lazarus wants the target taken alive and have a field team en route to the scene. Before the team can arrive, Cal blasts the drones and the peacemakers with his heat vision as the suit begs him to not engage or endanger himself, telling him that he must never forget the lesson of Krypton, that some worlds simply cannot be saved. When the field team does finally arrive, Cal is spent and drained of power, so he is easily cuffed by Agent Lane. Wait, what? Okay, so somewhere in the Nevada desert, we get a quick glimpse of someone watching the entire situation unfold, likely the director who wants Cal brought in alive. Now we finally jump to the Redlands of Krypton, where we find Laura rushing out to an injured Jor-El. He's talking gibberish about running tests and being certain before warning the world, then freaks out wanting to know where Cal is. A young Cal approaches with his dog, and the family embraces. The story will continue in issue 2, Superman vs. Lois Lane. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please give the video a like and subscribe to Comics for more.